It's myself, 100 Eyes, with the Triller Talent Mafia.
Yeah.
And we are live in the studio with the special guest himself, Leonegus the Realist. Yeah, big up yourself, my GG.
Man.
Thank you for coming down, man.
Thanks for having me, my brother. Let's get it.
Where you from, brother? Where, bro?
Tottenham.
North.
Tottenham. South Tottenham.
South Tottenham.
Let me make that clear. Tottenham still, you get me? Big up N17, you get me? But
Yeah.
N15 still.
Well, you grew up
South
there?
Tottenham, Stonebridge, yeah.
You grew up there your whole life, yeah?
Whole life.
You still there now?
Nah. Moved out. You have to get out of the jungle pit, you get me? The snake pit, you get me?
Yeah. What was life growing up in North London like?
North London. You know what? I'm an OG still, you get me? I might not look it, you get me? But yeah, I'm an OG still, like, me, North London. Let's put it like this. The way the youths are growing up in North London today, it ain't how man grew up in North London in the yesteryears, you get me?
Okay.
I'm 80s North London, you get me?
What's the differences between then and now?
The difference...
Big ones, the main ones.
The main ones, today, is all fractured into postcodes and thing, you get me? Like N15, and like I was just saying, again,
Yeah.
I should have said that, but I said that because I just want to make it known in it. Like, but me growing up in 80s Tottenham, because when we let's be frank in it. Like when we say North London, we are really saying Tottenham in it. Like, what we talk about? What we talk about when we say North London?
No, you're right.
What ends are
Tottenham.
you saying?
Tottenham Wood Green.
Tottenham Wood Green,
yeah,
innit?
Tottenham Wood
Edmonton.
Green.
Edmonton, yeah.
You get me?
Those
Like,
two, yeah,
I think in that order, Tottenham Wood Green, Edmonton.
all right, cool. In my day, but I say 80s North London, yeah, but 80s North London, I left the 80s as a 7-year-old. You see me? So I wasn't really about anything.
Yeah.
You get me?
Baby, man.
Get me? But I'm an 80s North London, and from what I remember from the 80s, growing up, there weren't no postcode thing. North London was Haringey, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? There was no borderline. Tottenham Wood Green was one.
Yeah.
To get me, Hornsey, it was all connected, like brothers and sister, cousins sort of thing.
Yeah.
To get me, connected. That's the difference. Today, it's like, right, Northumberland Park can't go Broadwater Farm. It's just across, that's mad, and they're both N17. That's nuts to me. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
nuts.
Like N15, you got fractions, like you got Stonebridge, Tiverton, Edgecott. You get me? Like Suffolk, like you got certain areas that ain't fucking with each other. You get me? In my day, that didn't exist. That was a madness.
Going
Like,
back to one order.
it was like North London, as far as I knew, was Tottenham and Wood Green. But Wood Green was Tottenham. Tottenham was Wood Green. So it was like,
It's good you said the 80s. So in the 90s is when the American rap got introduced
right,
to
the
the
hip
UK.
hop culture.
And look, it's clear as day what you're saying.
You get me what I'm trying to say?
Mad.
So coming into the 90s now, remember, I left the 80s as a 7-year-old, so I'm still in junior school. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, coming into the 90s now, like I'm not going to profess to say, yeah, I know my man and rare tear, but there's a brother called Popcorn. Yeah. And when he got killed, that ignited the Hackney Tottenham thing.
Yeah.
So coming through the 90s, like I'm saying, it wasn't a postcode thing. It was more an area against a whole area. You get me?
Yeah.
Hackney, and Hackney's a whole borough. Tottenham, remember, Tottenham's not a borough, you know. Tottenham's a ward within a borough.
Okay.
Do you get me? Tottenham's tiny, so the amount of noise that Tottenham makes is mad for the size of it. Do you get me? Like, with whole boroughs on a man's ends. Is it me?
It's true.
So coming through the 90s, it was like Hackney Tottenham beef. Do you get me? And that was the first time that I come in to realise, like, territorial beef. Like, I never knew about none of that. Like, my dad's from Hackney.
Yeah.
You know, like that. So I've always gone to Hackney. My dad used to work in Princess May Junior School. So we used to do play centre and all these things. You get me? So I was very familiar with Hackney. You get me? So it weren't until I got to like 16, and then I realised, like, one time one brother's like, yo, I was walking through Hackney, he's like, yo, where you from, my brother?
Like that,
First time, like, and these times, like, I wasn't one of them brothers that was about on the road, like, travelling on my own and thing. Obviously, I went to school and we travelled to school and thing, but outside of school, I weren't travelling. So these were like the first time sort of thing, like, man can go there and you see me? So it's these times like, yo, where you from, my brother? You get me? Like, man in Hackney don't walk like that sort of thing. You get me? Like it was,
man.
yeah.
They can
like,
pick up your frequency,
Your
brother.
frequencies, like
Yeah.
dress code, the way man talks, like even like it was what the gal saying themselves like, you're from Tottenham, innit? You're from Tottenham, like, just because the way man speaks and things.
But like before that time, there were you like privy? Like were you aware of that type of atmosphere?
I didn't know about no beef
were
in
just
the ends, like
living you free.
It was like the only violence that man saw, like gang violence, was on telly. It was like, it was like American, like man saying in it, the American films, the movies. To get me, man never grew up with UK street culture on telly.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
These youths growing up today, they got the Another Hoods and the Bullet Boys, and we never had that.
But even that's been molded from somewhere as
Right.
well, innit?
But
And they got
us-
lots of little mini documentaries. And
So we're
and youth series.
we're directly programming the youths and showing them an example of how to be on road. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Us growing up, we had American examples of how to be,
Yeah.
and I feel like that was the corruption. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But growing up in North London, yeah, man, never knew about all of that. You get me? And then saying that, I went Seven Sisters Primary School. Big up Seven Sisters Primary School. That was my end still. So that was my school. I got to like, and in my day as well, like in junior school, it was first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Man never knew, there weren't no year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. It weren't like that.
Damn,
It weren't-
you're
yeah.
OG
Yeah, I'm
for
a
real.
OG. See me? It was first year, second year, third year, fourth year. And then when I went to secondary school, it was year 7. I was like,
What happened? We just skipped something.
Man skipped.
how did
yeah.
that work? You get me?
Yeah.
Mad, still.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a little issues and things, so my mum had to move. You get me? My mum moved.
What area issues or just
Nah,
friends?
DV issues.
Okay.
You get me? Like, my
Okay.
mum was going through things. It's different.
Yeah.
My brother's dad and thing. Get me? So,
Yeah. Did that kind of affect your childhood? Like,
100%. Because a man had to move from Tottenham to Barnet. Like,
damn.
man moved to Barnet. You know?
Why you say
We're
like that?
talking 90s Barnet.
Is that like country
talk to us.
racism type of things? All
Brother,
white land,
brother,
innit? Yeah,
brother,
yeah.
brother, brother.
I hear that.
Brother. Let me try and show you
I hear
something.
that.
Show us.
Tottenham, North London, it's multicultural, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's a sense of it's a black area.
Yeah.
To get me, you'd have white people. I had white neighbours. They were friends. That get me, but it wasn't a thing like, oh, you're white, you're black. It wasn't like that. Get me? It's like you'd have white people in your house or whatever, but it wasn't a thing like, we're black, you're white.
Yeah.
To get me?
Yeah. It was more class. We are this.
Yeah, it was ends, innit? It's
yeah.
Tottenham. But going to Barnet, it was a case of spot the black.
Like
so
that.
then it made you realise, I'm black. You get, like, raw. Like, and these times I'm in year 3, that's year 5. No, third year, that's year 5. So it's a case of like, we've moved to Barnet. I'm already pissed because I had to change school. To get me? So I've gone to this school called Barnet Hill. So, yeah, third year junior school, I'm in Barnet Hill, me and my sister. My sister's a year younger than me. And like, that's when I first experienced the difference in colour. You get me? Like racism sort of thing. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, I just knew I didn't like it. I knew I just felt different from everybody else. You get
Yeah.
me? And one time, I must have got into a fight with one boy. You get me? And my mum just had my little brother. Like, she strapped to her chest. You get me? Baby harness thing. And then she come to pick us up after school in a cab. And I'm fucking up this white youth, you get me? Like, this white youth, he's racist, this is on me, you get me?
Yeah.
First time I've been called a nigger, you get me? Like, I didn't even know well, I knew what it meant, but not for me to be like, you get me?
Yeah.
But I knew it weren't for me to be called that, you get me? So I was
Yeah.
smashing him up still, swinging him up. And I'm the only black boy, you get me? So my mum's jumped out the car, she separated us sort of thing. And then my youth's like, how old are you in the third year? You're what, 9? 9 years old? Yeah, about 9 years old. 8, 9 years old. My youth's talking about, come to school tomorrow, I'm going to stab you.
Fucking hell, man.
Man's in junior school. You get me? Man don't know about, remember I'm telling you, I don't know about
you
no
don't know about
gang
none of that,
warfare, nothing. You get me? I only know about violence on TV. You get me? And yeah, wrestling and Bruce Lee and them thing there. You get me? I grew up in a...
Man was innocent.
I grew up in a... I'll say innocent, but I grew up in... I was exposed to the violence on telly. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then obviously my mum going through the DV thing, I witnessed that. Do you get me? So it's a case of like, okay, cool. But in school, for violence to be actually directed to me by pairs.
Yeah. How did the
me?
teachers treat you?
In school.
Yeah, do you remember like them being
I just remember it was a case of tell the teacher, innit? Tell the teacher, but
Because a lot of
teachers
kids
never doing anything.
disconnect in school.
I knew it was different, but I never knew like I'm not gonna get defended. You get me?
Yeah.
You get me? So when this white youth was troubling me, or whatever, and I ended up beating him up, or whatever. My mum jumped out, stopped the fight, and he's talking about, "Come to school tomorrow, I'm gonna stab you." I weren't scared, but my mum was scared. You get me? My mum was scared, and she was like, "Rah," she's gone to the head teacher. The head teacher's talking like, "We can't do nothing about it."
Whoa.
Do you get me? Because the head teacher's talking about all the parents are school governors, are parent governors. Do you get me? So,
They're all on the board,
so the head teacher is just like a caretaker of the school.
Yeah.
He's nobody. Do you get me? The real power is in the governors and thing. You get me? The parent governors and so he's like, boy, I could say this and could say that, but nothing ain't gonna happen. Do you get me? So my mum's like, alright, cool. I'm taking this a bit step further. You get me? My mum was talking about newspapers and radio. You get me? So anyway, my mum took me out of that school, and I went back to Seven Sisters. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
To the hood, huh?
Back on the hood.
Did that add to forging a mentality? What type of mentality did that kind of create in you at that age, if you remember?
I was just happy to be back, to be honest. You get me?
Amongst your
around my
peoples
brethren,
and that,
people I knew, people I grew up with, people I've been going to school since. Because, like I said, I went to a nursery school called St. Anne's, and like I say, like I'm not a bully. I've just got a temper. You get me? And my mum had me when she was young, 16. You get me? And then her brother is a year younger, Uncle William. He's 15, and then her sister is a year younger than that, 14.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So me coming into the fold, I'm the little brother.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Nanny just passed in April, yeah.
Oh, rest in
Man,
pounds.
still. But she
oversaw
she's
that.
my mum.
Yeah.
Do you get me? She's my mum. Nanny's my mum. You get me? So my mum being 16, having me, she didn't control me. It was Nanny that ran. Nanny's the matriarch of the house.
I feel you.
That's a lot with a lot of grandparents.
You get me?
in the
That's what I'm saying.
They
So
run
as soon as the maternal, it's normally the maternal.
Yeah.
Because you can have your dad's mum, but it's normally your mum's mum, the
yeah.
maternal. You get me? So whenever that goes, normally you'll find that the family structure breaks down.
Facts.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
I'm seeing it.
You see me? So, but thankfully, it's only now that she's passed. You get me? She didn't pass when I was a youth.
Kept you lot together long
yeah,
enough.
Yeah. So it's a thing like,
She passed on the knowledge to you, lot,
yeah. So growing up in that environment, Nanny ran things. Nanny was the boss.
Nanny runs
See me?
things,
Nanny
still.
was the boss. Yeah. So it's a case of like having a 16-year-old mum, a 15-year-old uncle, and a 14-year-old aunties. Like my mum was the creative, my uncle was the intellect, my auntie was the rebel. You see me? Like so, and Nanny was the general. You get me?
And they still.
So I'm the youngest one coming into this thing. So by the time I'm 4, my mum's 20.
No.
You see me? My uncle's 19, my auntie's 18. Do you get me? So I was like the Play-Doh. Do you get me? For my uncle especially. You get me? Like he's going through his Wing Chun and you get me? Like, yeah. So I'm the little brother that he never had sort of thing. You get me? So yeah, everything we're living now, I grew up in a household where I used to hear about these things all the time. Do you get me?
Were you Rasta? Are you Rasta?
I won't regard myself as Rasta. I'm more Garveyite.
Okay, what about your family household? How did they grow up? What umbrella?
There's Nanny was Christian, but we didn't have no white Jesus on the wall. You get me? Like maybe if Uncle William wasn't around, there might have been a white Jesus.
Oh, William!
Yeah.
Salute!
You see me?
Walk on the
Digit.
stick.
You get me? But Uncle William, Nuapian, you get me? Like, so we'd have like, you know, them black Jesus with the afro and the halo and that's the images I grew up with. You get me? You see me?
Very much needed, Paul.
That's the imagery I grew up with. So Uncle William, my dad weren't around in it, so he was like my dad and my big brother at the same time. You get me? You understand? So it's like I'm saying, come back to the fact that he's a fighter. He had a mad temper, and my mum's got a mad temper, but she holds it down. My whole family's got mad tempers, like they're all fighters. You get me? So me being the little man growing up in that environment, I fight, you get me? And Uncle William's people, them, all his friends, remember the 19, 18, 17.
Yeah.
I'm the little man, 4-year-old, you get me? So, yeah. Where I'm ramping. You know when you're ramping the little ones, them, I'm getting bent up, twist up, hang upside down with one leg and all them things. Yeah, that's my environment. We love ramping, play fighting and things, get me? So I never had no fear in that sense. Do you get me? Like to ramp with big people, you get me? So because I never had that fear of ramping with the big ones. When I'm going to school now, like I'm saying, I'm not a bully, you get me? It's funny that you could have bare chat in the house, but you come out the house and you're feeble. You get me? Like it's different, you get me? So in school now, there was this white boy, and he used to bully me still. I'm hearing, I used to have long hair. You get me? And he used to throw sand, you know the sand pit in school, like nursery school and things. He used to throw sand in my hair, eat my sandwich or take my chocolate or something. And I was in nursery school for like 2 weeks. So during these 2 weeks, this youth's troubling me, you get me? And I'm coming home every day sort of thing, like crying, you get me? Like this boy. So my auntie Sharon, she's the youngest one, get me? Like she's like my big sister as well, you get me? She's like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me you can ramp with your Uncle William and all his brethren, you get me? Tump man in their balls and all them. Yeah. And you're going to go school and let this little pussy are you alright? You get me? Auntie Sharon went on it. She was like, listen to what I'm saying to you. You get me? You come back home, you get me? Crying and I'm going to bust your ass straight.
Salute.
I'm going to bust your ass, you get me?
Tough love.
You got to deal with your thing, or you're going to come home and I'm going to do it.
Handle your biz, dog.
You get me? Yeah. She's like, you know what to do. You get me? Man from the Hulk Hogan era and Ultimate Warrior and like, are you alright? Like, what are you dealing with? Bruce Lee and Mike Tyson and like, huh? What are you talking about? So, boy, anyway, next day the boys tried it again, and that was the last time we tried it.
Thought of your aunt, nah, not today.
You don't want that smoke with Auntie Sharon, you get me? Anyway, yeah, fucked him up still. Bro, you get me? Like, they're like, I've never seen this level of violence in school at such a young age. They expelled me, bruv. They gone, nursery, gone. You get me? So that was, I think, St. Anne's, and then I went to Seven Sisters. So by the time I've come to Seven Sisters, you get me? Like, all my brethren were going Northumberland Park, innit? Like, I remember back then, me, Marcus, Ryan, Dwayne, I know all the people them's name from school, like, get me? I love them, that they were my brothers, you get me? So it's like, we all had a thing like, and when we grow up, we're gonna get this big mansion. You're gonna have that room. You're gonna have that room. Like, I
think all of us had that one, innit?
We're gonna move. We're gonna all move in.
Mansion,
you get me? We're gonna go Northumberland Park and get me gas. Listen to what I'm saying. My mum had different plans for me, brother. Different plans. Because remember, you know, I'm a fighter. I'm reckless. I won't say I had issues, but I had a temper, bro. You get me? Like, and my thing was separate. You get me? Like, it was a bit tweaked. Get me? Like,
So what happened?
brother?
What your mum send you?
My mum was like, because I'm already known, I'm popular. All my brethren are of a different caliber. You get me? Like, you can't go to school with these people. You can't.
You get kicked
get
out,
me? Like, I'm an intelligent youth, but highly distracted,
Distractions,
easily red-headed. You get me? Like,
yep.
disruptive in class and all them labels there. You get me? And hyperactive, hyper. You get me? Like, them days there, I couldn't drink Coke. I weren't allowed Skittles. My mum banned me from them to cola cubes.
ADHD.
So my mum knew from then, like, yeah, you're going back to Tottenham to finish your schooling amongst your peers, but you're coming back to Barnet. Do you get me? Because remember, my mum moved to Barnet.
And then sent you back school.
Sent back to Tottenham. So growing up, Nanny's my mum, innit? I've always lived in Nanny's house. And his Nanny's house is like, it's not just me that was there, it's all my cousins.
Your cousins and that,
So we grew up in an environment. You get me? There was like 8 of us in the house. You get me? There's bare of us, cousins.
What was the difference from primary school to secondary school? Was it changed?
So
was it more?
So imagine now.
Yeah, did it compose you?
So imagine now, I've gone Barnet Hill, and these are the youths that I was conflicting with.
You saw them again?
I've come back to Tottenham, all my brethren, made all these big plans to go Northumberland Park. And then my mum's like, nah, you're going back to Barnet, Ravenscroft. You get me? I've gone to Ravenscroft. Who am I seeing? The same bumper
the sweet mates and that,
Same white youths, the same racist youths, fam.
Right there, mate.
And the vibes right back to that.
Bro, they remember me, innit?
Oh, like
They remember me. I
They
remember
remember
you,
you, mate.
You remember me.
When you lived in Barnet, did you see them around? Was it a thing like that? They're the
Nah,
local
blood,
boys.
living in Barnet was a forest thing, fam. Like there was trees and woods, and you had King
That's
George V woods. Like
Yeah, that's what I
fam,
remember
like,
it.
Like, fam,
Country, innit?
fam.
Yeah.
Man seeing horses walking on the road and shit,
Yeah,
fam. Man
yeah,
seeing sheep and cows and fam. Where am I? Get out. You know, like that. Like
Yeah,
get
Barnet,
out,
High
fam.
Barnet, all
Fam.
them places there, yeah.
But my mum didn't understand what she sent me back into, you get me? Like, she just knew if I go Northumberland Park, you're going to end up dead.
yeah.
You're going to end up dead. Because she saw, even though I'm saying I wasn't privy to the gang war violence,
She saw
and
it there.
she, as an adult, looking in and knowing the environment you're in, she knew Tottenham's mad.
And them times
You get
riots
me?
had happened and that, no?
Yeah,
80, 84, innit? 85.
Yeah,
right.
so like the energy was
So,
picking
yeah,
up.
yeah,
over
yeah,
there,
yeah. But that was more like, we know who the enemy is.
Yeah, of course.
Do you get me? Like, we had the Brixton riots in 81. We knew who the enemy was.
Yeah,
you get me? I'm
but
trying to
then
say.
you're gonna go on-
But she saw the transition of what was where
The
it
gang
was turning
element.
to. Yeah, you get me? Because obviously they're young. So as much as I'm not privy to gang warfare,
Nah, of course.
as a how old would she have been at that time now?
What, 14?
26.
Oh,
She would have been 26. You get me? So them times there now, she knows, innit? Like, yeah, there is mandem.
Yeah.
We didn't start the mandem thing.
Yeah,
we
back
we,
then, yeah.
we inherited that. You get me? So her age group, there was on smoke.
Yeah.
To get me? Maybe not as much smoke as what we're on and
But
our
they
youths
were-
are on with each other, but there was smoke and internal warfare going on
Yeah,
on the
course,
ends. You get me?
course.
So she knew, innit?
Yeah.
And we were little bad boys as well. Like, I say bad boys, but we was imitating something from somewhere. Do you get me? So as little youths, little 10-year-olds, you have to question where did that attitude come from? Where did that little bad
learned,
man
innit?
yeah, come from? We didn't just raise ourselves, sort of thing, isn't me? So
Any hobbies or anything to kind of
It's a live vision.
any hobbies to kind of keep you on some sort of
at the time,
productiveness?
man just liked to fight, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was a fighter, bro, and I like to read. You get me? I was
music
always
in this at any
intelligent.
time?
No. I've never ever wanted to be a musician, rapper. I wanted to be a scientist. You get me?
Okay.
Or a doctor or something. You get me? Like, I was always listen. My uncle is the main influence. You
Yeah.
get me? In regards to that thing there. You get me?
Fighting.
Like, you see me? Like, he was an electrician. Well, he is an electrician. You get me? He used to build sound system days. You get me? Speaker boxes, them big speaker boxes, 18 inches, and yeah. But I never really grew up in a religious household. I grew up in like a more of a scientific, get me, conspiracy household.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is where it's gonna be, and rare tear tear. So you get me? This is where the world's gonna. You get me? It weren't a black and white divide sort of thing. You get me?
So can I comment on that quickly? I feel like because your parents and you grew up around a young household, like your mum was young, your uncle was young, so they were open to a lot of things.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
than
yeah.
like, let me say, a 40-year-old mum.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? They're
exactly.
more like stuck in their ways.
Yeah, but saying that, my nan was my mum.
Okay.
You see me? So my mum was more like my sister. You get me? I was staying with nanny all the time. Like, I didn't even want to go home to my mum. You get me? Like, it was a struggle to fight to go back to my mum. I didn't remember my mum's going through this DV thing as well. So it's like, I don't even want to go around them sides there. You mad? Like, you get me? I'm at nanny's. You get me? Nanny's mum. Nanny runs things. I'm safe with nanny. You get me? So that's what that was. So I had an older mum, as we put it, nanny in the shape of nanny. But then I did have a young mum in the shape of mum. You get me? So it was a bit. I had both sides. You get me? And then I had Uncle William and Auntie Sharon. So, but yeah, so I didn't really have that pride in the labels of, oh, you're Malcolm X, you see me? So the younger youths would come to me and they'll be like, they're calling me nigger or whatever. So even though I didn't have the pride I knew my role in it, in the school. I knew it was, looking back on it, yeah, that was a Malcolm X role. But I didn't see it as a Malcolm X role. It's just what I do, innit? I'm gonna fuck you up if you bring any form of racism.
You're a protector,
around
innit?
Yeah, exactly that. So it got to a stage, yeah, like I'm telling you, the school is in the middle. Like, so you got Dollis Valley. This is where all the racist people live. And the field, Dollis Valley is just a bunch of fields, you get me? And then you got the school shared their field with the racist estate. So the school was basically on the estate. Do you understand? And then to get to the school from civilization, you might as well say, it was a mile walk, no buses to get to school. So coming from that way, it's a mile, and then You get the schools in the middle, and then you go that way. So from Barnet High Street is a mile to the school, and then to get to Totteridge is a mile. So it's literally in the middle of nowhere. You're walking through fucking stables and fields to get to school. So me as a black youth, brother, going to school, man don't want no detention. Man shook, fam. Shook, blood. Man ain't blood. Mississippi burning. All of them things there's in my head, my brother. Long roads, and I know who lives on those estates. You get me?
And them little pubs there.
Blood, man shook, fam. I didn't even start growing properly until I was like 18. I was short. Get me? So I'm like, always had this vision of getting dragged into a bush. You get me? And killed off and hung.
That's trauma through childhood.
Fam, that was my experience going to them schools there, you get me? So by the time I got to year 10, you get me? And they'll try to fling out detentions and stuff. These youths don't want to go home on their own. Yeah. So they're waiting outside of the school gates
for each other.
For me.
Oh, for you.
For me, blood. So I've got an hour detention. They're outside waiting for man.
Like that.
Because we're going home together.
Oh, the other black youth.
The other black youths. We're going home together.
And they know you're a fighter as well.
Yeah, so, and I'm the eldest one in it. So, like, we're going the school journey back home in it. Like, we're coming back to Tottenham. A lot of them was from Tottenham. A lot of the black youths were from Green, Tottenham.
So sorry, did their parents send them to the...
Yeah, because my mum talks a lot.
With the same mindset as well, like, want them to do better. So
Yeah. So my mum talks a lot. Get me? I'm like, mum, you talk too much. I'm like, mum, you talk too much still. But she takes pride in them thing there. Get me? So yeah, I got sent to that school. The black youths would wait for me outside the school, and the teachers didn't like it. They're like, they saw that I had power over the youths. More power than what they had. They would listen to me and only me. You see me? One time we was in school, lunchtime, and there was a white teacher screaming at this black boy to go to the back of the dinner line because he pushed in. She's screaming. He's just looking at it like, you're a dickhead. I'm not listening to you. What are you talking about? You get me? And I just passed him, tapped him on his chest like, come on, man. Go to the... It's like, alright, cool. And he went to the back.
Shit.
And she's like... She didn't say thank you, nothing, but she looked like...
Yeah.
Later on, after lunch, I had a note in the register to come to the head teacher's office. You get me? We can see what you're doing and but don't get involved in teacher-children interactions. You get me? Like you're taking authority away from the teacher.
They should have put you
I was
on.
like, rah. I was just helping. Like she looked like she was struggling. I just tapped his shoulder and he cool. So after that, there was like, yeah, we want to put you on a mentoring scheme. You get me? Because we could see that you've got connection with the youths, and because remember, you've got
leadership skills.
There's not many black youths in my year. Do you get me? And then they could see their thing was, why are you hanging around with the younger youths? You get me? I'm like, because there's no one in my year that I relate with. Do you get me? And these are the youths that I rate. You get me? So they was like, yeah, okay, cool. You're connected with them. So they wanted me to basically question them about childhood and their household and all these things and bring information to the teacher. In my head, I knew already. I was like, so you want me to be like an informer sort of thing? I didn't say it in those words, but in my head, I was like, nah.
See that though? The time they want to put a man on is when...
Because I said no, they just hated me from there and they expelled me for abusing my leadership skills. That was it. They put me on permanent study leave, rude boy. Never heard of that in my life. Permanent study leave, yeah. So yeah, that was that. So yeah, they recognized me as the protector, as you put it, and it was like they would wait for me after school and they just didn't like it, you get me? So yeah, school was an experience, you get me? Like I needed to go through it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Earlier you said you wasn't into music at them ages.
I grew up around music.
No, you wasn't into it.
I weren't trying to be a rapper.
Yeah. So what made you the rapper you are today? I wouldn't call you a rapper. You said you're not a rapper, innit? You're a man that got a message behind everything. Yeah.
But even with that message, before we dive into particular, what's the oversight? What would you say is your forte? What do you do? Because obviously we know about you, but tell the people
what do I do? Like,
yeah.
Boy, I'm just a brother with a message, fam. I got a couple of things to say, but I feel like people need to hear.
Yeah.
Get me? I got a vision where I believe things are heading, and that's what I speak on. That's what I gear my actions towards. Preparation, and preparing people around me that I consider my brothers and my family. You get me? Like, so I'm like, okay, if we're family, then you need to know what I know in order for when we get there, we can support each other, sort of thing. You get me? Because man can't talk about
one order.
Yeah.
That's
You get
the
me?
truth,
One harder,
brother.
man.
That's
big
the
up,
truth.
Big up Zimbo, innit? Like, God, that's my brother as well, isn't it?
And obviously, music it also touches the spirit. So you attack music on the spiritual side. You do the fitness, that's the physical side. So you're kind of attacking it on both angles.
Yeah.
Tell them about intent.
Intent.
Yeah, what's intent?
Boy, like I said, innit? Like, when I left school, I had a temper, innit? To get me? Like, so much so that people labelled me Looney, innit? Like, that was my name on road, innit? Looney.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, Looney. Like, and I look back on it and I realise now, like, I was everybody's gun. You see me? I was a tool. You get me? Like, I would go into places and do things that people weren't really willing to do.
Got your brethren to poke you. Look, Leo.
Yeah, and I was that guy in it, like a Rottweiler, like, you get me? Like,
Got the biggest balls, man.
bro, the biggest teeth, everything from
Oh,
coming from, man. You get me? And it's just a case of, like you said, protective, innit? That's always been my thing.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, like, I could walk down the road and you could chief me in a dog. I might just take it.
I hear that.
I might, but see where we're rolling?
Yeah.
And the brother's coming for you. Bro, don't do that because, whoa. Like, yeah.
The fight sparks.
It's mad. It's mad. It's mad. Especially when it comes to my family. See my family, my sisters and my brothers and my mum, and before I grew up with my mum as well. And whoa, you get me? I'm not having that. Like, my mum was going through domestic violence from when I was like 9 years old, and I remember, like, my nan always used to say, "You soon get big. You soon get big. You soon get big." I got big, bro. I got big. It took me till I was like 16, 17. I cracked man's skull clean open. You see me? Like, and it's just that. You get me? And then it's just that. It's just like, you know, where does this anger come from, and where does these certain things come from? You get me? And it just spilled out like that. You get me? So it's a case of, like, I'm not letting nobody violate my circle. You get me? It's not gonna happen. You get me? So
you harnessed that into.
So people knew that. People knew, just say this or say that, and yeah, he's coming, sort of thing. You get me? And because I was that way inclined, but I did also have intelligence, I recognized that certain environments I'd come into and have certain conversations. I wasn't always talking about violence. I don't even really think I spoke about violence. It was always an intellectual conversation that you're going to have with me, sort of thing. And because of the time and the intellect that I'm bringing, I'm a madman, innit?
Oh,
You see me? So the name, they was calling me Looney because I don't care, I don't question nothing, and I'm coming for you. But it kind of turned it on its head. Like, the conversations I'm having, it made me look like I'm a madman because people weren't ready for the level that I'm bringing. So it was Looney in the madman sense, as opposed to Looney in, like, right, he'll mash you up, you know. You get me? And I didn't like the connotations that it was bringing to my character because I'm not a madman, you see me? Okay. So I was like, rah, Looney, I have to change it. You get me? I was like, I have to change it to intent. You get me? Because everything I do is on purpose and everything I say is on purpose. And this is before I was even a rapper, sort of thing. It's like, it's just my persona. Like, I want to do things on purpose. And when I speak, I want people to know, right, yeah, he meant that. Not, he said that and his name's Looney. What's his name? Looney. Yeah, that's mad still. You get me? So it's like you take on the label that you give yourself or what's given to you, and you self-personify that and self-perpetuate. You get me? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing. So I was like, labels are very important. So yeah, intention. So that was my thing, intent. You get me? And then I got into the rap thing. No, actually, started with jungle. It was a jungle thing, and it went into garage, and then it went into grime. And throughout that whole process, it was Looney. You get me? MC Looney. You get me? And then with the grime thing, I realised, like, because it was more of a flavour, stylistic thing as opposed to content of lyrics. You get me? Like jungle, garage, and grime. It weren't really, you get me? But I was trying to bring content, and the content I was bringing was violence. You get me? So it was like, rah, I'm going to get myself killed talking like this. You get me? On the grime thing. You get me? So I was like, nah. So the Looney thing had to go.
And were you just listening to grime at that time, or
at the time,
US thing as well?
At the time, funny enough, in my last year of school, I had a Tupac 7 Day Theory, Machiavelli, on tape cassette, but I didn't know it was Tupac. You get me? I used to listen to that religiously, but I didn't know it was Tupac. The way we know Tupac today and Machiavelli, I just like the music. Come with me, helmet. You get me? Like, but I didn't. Just the frequencies I was absorbed to, as opposed to the person. You get me? I didn't know who he was. I remember there was people in school. when he dropped grab your clocks when you see Tupac. You get me? That was an anthem
Hit 'em up.
amongst the black people in school. You get me? Yeah. But I weren't part of that collective because I weren't really into hip hop. I weren't into none of that. You get me? I was into jungle, like, so drum and bass sort of thing. Uncle William's sound system. So
of course.
I weren't into hip hop rap. I weren't into that. I went until I started going into the intent. Dropped off the Looney thing, and then I was like, you know what? I need to express myself better. To get me, and I didn't feel grime gave me that platform to do that. So I thought, let me jump onto the rap thing, and then that's when I changed my name to Intent. I was like, yeah, I can speak with intentions now, and I can express myself better through the paradigm of rap as opposed to the paradigm of grime. And I feel that's the problem today with drill.
Yeah,
to get me, like it's like being a swimmer, yeah. And if you've only swam in a swimming pool with no fun and waves, it's just a still pool, and you're a swimmer, innit? You're a swimmer. But then you've got an Olympic swimmer that swam in the ocean. Do you get me? You can navigate through the waves and thing. Music's the same thing, innit? It's the waves of the music. And if you don't know how to swim, the waves is going to take you in whichever direction that wave it wants you to go. Do you get me? So if you're not a proficient swimmer, you're going to do whatever that ocean tells you to do. You get me? But if you are a proficient swimmer, you can go with the wave, but go against the wave, and you can swim and survive. You get me? And I feel that's what's going on today in the music thing. Drill is alive. You get me? The frequency is alive. And if you don't know how to navigate yourself and you don't know yourself, you're going to do whatever that beat tells you to do. Yeah. The beat is asking for something. Yeah. Even me as a rapper, I'm not a rapper, but me with the ability to do it, I don't do drill. The moment I step on drill, it makes me want to talk violence, bro. It makes me want to do it. It's like, I want to do that, but I'm like, rah. That's why I stay away from it. Because I'm like, I'm not a proficient swimmer for drill.
Or like some badness
talk me?
Or something.
I'm not a proficient swimmer for drill. It draws something out of me. You get me? And I'm like, it's frequency, it's energy. So I'm like, rah, let me.
It don't have to be badness though.
It don't have to be badness.
Definitely calling for aggression though.
It's calling for a free blood. See the drum. See the drum and that frequency. That's war music, fam. That's war music, fam. And if you ain't got a specific target in mind, yeah. Well, you do have a specific target in mind. It's the man them want to kill man them. You get me? That's that energy that is being fed into this frequency. You get me? And that's how I feel. I feel like ops and all of these things because they're warring each other. If we knew who the direct target enemy was, like I feel cops are the ops in it. You get me? So anytime I talk about them type of thing, there, it's directed at them man there. It's not my brothers I'm talking about.
So when you switch from grime to rap, were you talking so-called consciousness then?
So-called consciousness. When I went from grime to rap, I was talking about everything my uncle told me. Everything. Futuristic stuff. Like I'm talking about
science.
The floods.
They weren't ready for it then. Definitely.
100% not.
Definitely
so
not,
it's
bro.
still the element of loony, but it's intent. So because I ain't got the label of loony now, it's intent in it. So it's like he's not a madman, but yeah, what's he talking about? Them thing ain't gonna happen.
They're
That's not gonna happen. I'm talking eye scans and microchips. I'm talking, you get me? The Tagman and living on Mars, and I'm not leaving. And what you talking about? Them things I'm talking about in 2004, 2005. You get me?
And just on that journey there, who were you listening to at that precise time? Was it still US?
Dead Prez, my bro.
There you go.
Dead Prez. Yeah. That was my. Because I've gone from grime, and I'm listening to all the radio, innit? Like Wiley, Dizzy, and you get me, like, yeah. But then when I went over to hip hop, it was Dead Prez. Dead Prez, cannabis. Yeah, it's intellectual rap, you get me? Like I weren't interested in the gangbang talk there, you get me? I'm not a gangbanger and I didn't relate with it. I just wanted to hit intelligence.
Like the tail end of the hip hop, innit? When you go into that, innit?
So that's who I was my direct influences was Dead Prez.
Okay.
And then by the time we got to 2006, I would say Mortal Technique. That caliber, you see me? And then I was rapping on that level. That was the level that I was. And then I'll be like, Tupac started speaking to my shadow, but at the time I didn't know he was talking to my shadow. You get me? I was like, I started getting into road things. You get me? Like I was like, I can relate with this now. You get me? But back then I couldn't
Yeah.
Everybody was well versed on Tupac by that stage. I was kind of late still, a late bloomer when it came to Tupac. You get me?
But these times you fully went under the name Intent, yeah?
Intent, that was my name, that was my street name. That was everything, you get me?
And you channeled that into the personal training now.
So I was always been fit, I've always been healthy. I weren't really a gym rat like that, you get me? But I'll go to the gym and work out with certain people, and I'm like, right, like I'm training people, you get me? Like, you get me? Like, people by this time, people are making music and they're making mix CDs.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I weren't trying to get money from music. It's always been a hobby, even to now. People's like, you need to drop your music. Yeah, I hear that, but I'm not driven for that. You get me? It's
And
just
you
a
know
hobby.
where it ends up if you're trying to reach the heights.
Right, and that's always been and then I've always got Uncle William in my head. From back then, it's like, you can't speak these things.
Yeah.
So at the time, I would never have been able to drop that tape. You get me? Like, they're gonna target you
real quick.
They're gonna target you. That was the fear that was installed into me. You get me? So them times, man, I'm making mix CDs and stuff, but I'm like, I'm not even gonna make money from this. You get me? So I was like, what am I gonna do? So it was personal training that I got into. I went to college, studied fitness instructing. This was 2008. So I made a decision, innit? So from 2008 I was like, everyone's making money from music, but I'm not. So I'm like, this is a hobby. So I need to do something what's going to be able to sustain life now, because I had a youth 2003. To get me? So I'm doing music, but I've got a youth.
Yeah.
But this music ain't feeding my youth. You get me? So I'm like, this ain't even making no sense. You get me? And I'm having clashes with the baby mom and thing. I'm like, yeah, this is mad. You're doing music, but you're not doing nothing with it. You get me? Like, it was mad. So I was like, alright, cool. Jumped into the fitness instructing thing. And then as soon as I passed, I started making money, bro. Like, as soon as I passed my fitness instructing, money was coming.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to put this music thing on its head.
Yeah.
Put it down. I'll be 60, 70, dentures and shit. I'll still be rapping nursery rhyme thing to my youths. You get me? Like, so I didn't feel like it matters. You get me? So by the time 2010 come, it's like intensive training, in it. Like, so it just worked.
I like that branding.
It just worked, in it. Like, my name's Intent. So people are like, oh, you spelled it wrong. Nah, true you don't know.
Yeah.
True you don't know. Like, when I'm training you with intent. With intent. We have a purpose. You give me your goals, and I'm going to work towards your goals, and I'm going to mold it around your goals. And it's intent, but it's intensive. You get me? So yeah. So it just worked like that, and then it just stuck like that. You get me? So I've been doing personal training for 11 years now.
Gee, Mr. Motivator himself.
2010. That's when I qualified. You get me?
You train families, innit, on Saturdays. I think that's dope, man. That's dope.
It needs to be done, man.
It needs to be done, man.
Because the two barriers to training that I've come to realise throughout these years that I've been doing it, it's mainly women that want to do this thing, you know. Women want to train way more than men. Yeah. You get me? But it's the barriers. It's the motivation. They've got motivation, but it's the barriers that hinder the motivation.
Children, isn't it?
Children. You get me? They can't come out because they got who's going to look after my children. Yeah. And then it's the expenses. You get me? So I was like, cool. Get rid of those barriers then, innit? Like, come out for free.
All inclusive.
Your children. Now what? Now what? Now there's no excuse. Come out, bring your children, and let's do this thing. Because I grew up in a household of, this is where things are going, and this is where we are, and this is where we need to be in order to meet this situation of where we're going. We talk about revolution and all these things, but who's ready for revolution?
Who's preparing? Who's ready?
Like, physically, you can have the intentions and the spirit to want to do it, but if your vessel can't deliver your intent,
you've already lost, man.
Yeah, it's gas. You get me? So I'm like, we could be on the internet, we can do all of these things, we can post these things, we can do all of this. You get me? But we need to come off the internet. You get me? Even this whole environment, you get me? Like, we're doing this podcast and everything. It's like we're doing it. It's a good thing. We've got people on the internet and inspiring thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
But then what are you going to do with that inspiration?
Behind it, yeah.
Do you get me? Are we going to look for the next podcast?
Yeah.
And the next
and
podcast.
talk up the things
and the next
again.
podcast.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
wait for the next podcast. And go, that was dope. That was dope.
Exactly that.
And sit down and just wait for the next podcast. What are you going to do with these bites of information now?
Exactly.
Do you get me? Like, it's like having a gun loading it, no trigger. Like
literally no
yeah,
trigger.
Yeah, there's no trigger. Like they say knowledge is power, but it's not. The application of knowledge is power.
No,
so you could be a brother with bare information in his head and not doing nothing with it, and then die.
There's a lot of people like that right now.
Right. So I'm like, I've got bare things to say, and I talk about coming off the internet, but I've got hella pages. I've got hella pages, but I try to utilize them to be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you're physically doing it as
just
well.
to show, so just show people. Yeah, okay, it's all good being on the internet, but you need to come off and you need to utilize your thing. You get me?
It's hard right now, though.
It's hard with the COVID and all of that.
Not even that. It's just the frequencies have changed. With mandem, with people, with friends,
and the control of the internet now.
You remember back in the day? I just knew you will be at a certain place.
That's
at
it.
Cage.
You
be at Cage.
Without the
you're
digital.
not there, you're
I'm at the
somewhere
digital.
else.
I'm coming there at 12 and you're there.
Yeah.
I knew that.
But if you're not there, then you're there.
Yeah, I know you're going. I'm going there.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm going Ghana flats.
Yeah.
Then I'm going Oldie.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Now it's a Snapchat drop pin location.
So it's very hard to live without the socials right now in this day and age because we're so disconnected.
And that's the problem.
Yep.
Because we don't control the socials.
No way.
You understand? So if this is our only means of communication.
You know what? Thank you for that. I've been saying that for years. You see on Facebook, you got the UK black community. In my life, I'm thinking, if Facebook shut you man off though, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do? What's it?
Nothing.
How many man know their numbers?
Done.
Of by heart.
Done.
How many like you got to have like, I don't know, your circle, your immediate circle. Yeah. How are you gonna, like you said, like back in the day, you go there, you're not there, you're over there. If you're not there, then you're there. I know where you are.
Yeah.
That's
And if
been
not
in
that,
the
you're with your
internet.
parents somewhere.
Man's drawn. Man's got frequency, energy. Man knows where you are.
Yeah.
Today,
It's changed.
how are you gonna utilize? How are you gonna assemble?
Yeah.
If
how
they
you
lock
gonna
you off,
assemble right now?
how? How
right, yeah.
is a mad thing. So I'm like, it's all good being on the internet. It's all good having these conversations because they're needed to inspire thoughts in the next generation and the next man and woman. But then, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, man.
Get me? Like Black Child Promotions. Yeah, I have to big up Black Child Promotions. Yeah, because we took books and we went onto the street and we handed them out to people. You get me? Like, you give your contribution, donation, but we're giving that information. So we're not just on the internet saying, yeah, knowledge, but out there in our real life, grassroots, boots on the ground, in the community, doing community work. You get me? Then you got other people they're just on the internet, just chatting. To get me? So it's like, you gotta know how to, you gotta be able to and be willing as well to come out in a real life and utilize. To get me? It's like we feel like we need to be the captain of our own ship. Yeah, cool. Like, we need to have our own handles. Cool. You get me? Like, we need to have our own accounts and stuff. Cool. But I go out there on the road. Yeah. On a Saturday to do my fitness. I don't necessarily need to record it and go live with it and whatever. You get me? Like, cause if it's good enough, someone's gonna record that, and it's gonna end up on the internet anyway. Anyway, but I feel like it's an ego thing where we feel we need to take control of that, and then come into the situation of the internet to, this is what I'm doing.
Look what I'm doing. Look at me. Look at me.
What I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you don't need to, because
talk
we're
for
living in a
itself.
trending era anyway. So whatever you do and it catches someone's attention, the first thing they do is
Pull
this.
out their phone. Yeah.
I know, but
You
you know
need
what it
it.
is? It's because you can't monetize it.
Yeah.
That's really the issue right
Yeah.
now, and someone else can just delete it.
Yeah.
And you're not in control of
Yeah.
nothing.
Not in control. of
So
nothing.
imagine your best piece of work hits 1 million views and someone deletes it, and it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
in your
yeah,
control.
yeah, it's
That
mad.
you have to control it, bro. You have to, in a sense.
and that's sensible. So I feel like yeah, we're in a trending era, but we need to control the algorithm. You get me? We
Definitely.
need to control
Even the
our
language.
algorithm.
For example, like 2 questions I got for you now. Would you call the music you make conscious music, and also would you class yourself and your actions as an activist?
Activism.
And I say that because of just the stereotypical connotation of those words.
I'm just a brother with a message. You get me? That stands on truths and rights in it, and I'm willing to deliver that, and I'm willing to speak up for truth and rights and for the oppressed people. You get me? Like that's so. If that's classified as activism, cool. You get me? Like I said, man was out there on the roads, with Big Souls, he's been doing it since 2004.
Yeah.
You get me? From it was DVDs.
Yeah.
You get me? And then they try to shut him down on some copyright thing.
Yeah.
You get me? And then they come out with original product books. You get me? And then he's pushing out the books thing. You get me?
Yeah.
I jumped on with him 2016 to 2019. And that could be classified as activism.
That modern day activism.
You
That's
see
how,
me?
yeah,
Like, but
yeah.
that's real activism.
Yeah,
That's
you're
not
active
jumping up
with
and
it.
down, screaming, protesting, and all of these things. That's like, okay, this is what needs to be done. We're going to do it. You get me? Like, to me, that's reparations. Do you get what I'm trying to say? To me, like, that's not begging nobody for nothing. That's not, you owe us this or you owe us that. We owe ourselves, innit? So to me, reparations is repairing your mind and trying to restore to your once upon a time glory where you was before. You get me? No man can do that for you.
I don't think we can do it here neither, though.
No government can do that for you. Like we talk about, like, when people think about reparations, they think about money. But when they was talking about reparations back in the day, it was 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
There was no mention of money.
Land.
Get me? Because land is...
That's what I said. I don't think we can do it here.
Get
We
me?
don't own the land.
Land is landlocked over here. But get me, if we was to distribute wealth in that regard there, I think everybody's supposed to have land, innit? And to be able to sustain life. Because if you can't sustain life, you have to rely on the next man to sustain life. You need land. Without land, you're nobody. You get me?
So I don't think we can do it here, though. I feel like if we start building correctly and we move on point, they will just move everyone out, bro.
Well, they tried to do it with Toslo, innit? And they bombed that. Get me? Black Wall Street.
They done that,
bombed
you get me?
You get me? But then you got other communities within this community, like the Jews, for example. Like they got their community, they do their thing, but they've got unity.
But they move in one order, blood.
Well, this is it. The unity. They've got a code. We ain't got no code of conduct.
No.
Our code of conduct seems to be from the hip hop culture.
Yeah, yeah.
You see me? And I was watching Batman yesterday. Yeah, Batman, the first one.
The Joker.
I'm not Keanu.
Ooh,
Reeves.
Val Kilmer.
No. Michael Keaton.
Okay, yeah.
Jack
yeah,
Nicholson.
Yeah.
They had a TV news broadcast, because Joker was poisoning the people. You get me? And they didn't know what he was doing, like how the people was getting poisoned and thing. You get me? And it showed on the thing, like they Batman's cracked the code. He knows where it is. It's like on the thing. It said, okay, these products, don't take these products. Get me? Because the poisons in these products talking about baby powder. It said
Yep.
It said
Johnson and Johnson's.
Yeah, it said but this is 89, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it said baby powder, hairspray, aerosol, like
Toothpaste.
body spray, all of these things. But it's plain English on TV on a program that we're watching as entertainment. You get me? In 89. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But they're directly telling you, like, these programs, they're not called programs for no reason.
They're programming you.
Do you get me? But the programs in real time are telling you what is actually happening.
Yeah.
But by the time you clock, you're going to look back and you say, 10 years old, that film's 10 years old.
Yeah.
That film's 7 years old. Yeah. But in real time, if you're clocking it in real time, then you'll be like, right, these people are actually having a conversation over our head with each other.
Facts.
And we're just... It's like that woman saying, how long can we have this conversation before anyone clocks?
Yeah.
And then when people clock, it's like, you're a madman anyway because his TV is not real.
And they've moved on to the next
and
phase.
they've moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You
They're on
get
the
me?
next phase
So
now.
I'm like, right, I was 7. So the program, like, in anyone, in it, like 0 to 7 are your formative years. That's where they implement the program, and then it starts to take fruition in your later years. You get me? So you need to pre these 0 to 7 year olds and what you're actually programming these children with. You get me? Like it's a deep time of your life. You get me? Because these are the times where your brain's working like 5 times the speed,
And it's
of an
shaping
adult.
what life is for you.
You got children, the majors, you can learn 5 languages, 6 languages.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to teach that you.
Yeah.
Your brain is a sponge.
What they're
sort of
speaking
thing.
at home, what they're learning at school, and anything else. Yeah.
Same film, Batman. Yeah, it's all propaganda. Batman, there was this black man, he jumped out, some somersault thing, you get me? He had samurai swords. Yeah, this is 89, yeah? Samurai swords, black glasses, sunglasses, and he had a black beret. Whose uniform is that?
And the Panthers. Isn't it?
Black Panthers, right?
Yeah.
So Batman is fighting a Black Panther.
Dang.
But the Black Panther had samurai swords in 89. Now, who is that? Wu-Tang, my bro. Black power with swords. That's hip-hop, my brother. So they're showing you
We're
that
fighting,
America, the whole system is fighting against the hip hop thing, because back then they're showing you hip hop was the voice of black
It was
power.
righteous then, yeah.
It was the voice of black power. You get me?
Yeah.
And now look at it.
Yeah.
Look at hip hop now.
Yeah, stained.
Huh?
Yeah.
So they showed you this is a problem that we have. Batman had a problem.
Yeah.
Batman represents America or whatever, yeah, the Western world government, whatever. Their problem was black power.
Yeah.
It's not their problem anymore.
Yeah.
See, that's where them agents come in.
That's where the agents come in.
And they left them there.
The parks and
Yeah,
all that.
right.
You know what I'm saying, dog?
You see me? So they showed you like KRS-One, all them man, they were talking the thing.
Fam.
Tribe Called Quest.
Hip hop. What does hip hop even stand for? High, infinite power,
Yeah.
healing, people.
Yep.
So
See?
listen,
It was a
I
rebellion.
didn't even
thing,
know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but listen, if you know and you watch dates, you got Easy E. Yeah, he dropped the album 8888, innit?
Bro, I went into the
Bro, I don't believe in coincidences.
I'm here for education.
But eight years and 88 days later, Tupac dies. Exactly that.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? And before that, I think a month prior, that's when he dropped Illuminati, 7 Day Theory.
The Illuminati.
Yes.
I see it there.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew them man at Egypt.
The
Do you get what I'm saying to you?
That's what I'm saying.
That was the beginning and the end of gangster rap, and that's enough.
Yeah.
Look what you said: 0 to 7 years old.
Yeah, 0 to
that's
7.
that's 8 years, isn't it? About 8 years.
0 to 7, bro. Those are the formative years that they implement the program.
So
You get me?
yeah.
Like that's why the first 3 years of your life, it's important for the parent to know their thing before you send your. I don't even believe in school system. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do, you got to send your youth prepared. You can't just send your youth naked, don't know how to count, don't know how to do this, don't know how to do that, and then you're going to allow this blank page to be written on.
Yeah, that script goes
You
straight
need
in
to-
their
yeah,
head.
You
Yeah.
need to send your youth in with a program, your program.
Damn, man.
Bro, like I said, I don't think you can do it here, bro. Not in
Bro.
this system, bro.
Not in the system, but you still need to give the youths.
You're
a
right,
chance, you
you're
get me?
right, you're
You
right.
can't just like it's like lambs to the slaughter, blood.
Yeah, man, it really
You get
is.
me?
And
The
we've been
school
getting
system-
slaughtered.
Because
man.
like we're talking about the school system, yeah. The school system's vaccinating our youths. They've changed the age from 12 years old, and like all in Scotland now, you could be 4 years old.
I
and you
saw
can,
that.
You
Is
can,
that
you can,
real?
Brother,
I saw that post.
I saw-
4-year-old don't need their parents
To change
their gender. at
Yeah, they
school.
do.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what it is. My daughter got something from school saying because you agreed to the last vaccination,
You have to take this.
you can
one.
bypass this one. You can just get it done.
See?
Yeah.
But this is what I'm trying to say.
They said it still. They sent to me and they sent it to us on an email, blood. I was like, "Rah!" God, thank God you didn't get the last one then, innit?
But everyone,
You know what I'm
everyone
saying?
I'm trying to say. That's our youth. We know what the school system's about. So, from the school system does what they want to do, what can you say about it? You sent your youth there.
Yeah, facts.
You signed them into that.
You sent your youth into
Ah,
a
yeah,
secured compound. You can't get in and they can't get out without permission. And if you do try and break an entry, whoa, trespassing,
Take your youth.
is a problem. You can't just go in a school. Yeah? You get me? They can't just leave. You get me? So it's a case of now, I'm not sending my youth to school. So now you got to go through certain due process.
Yeah.
To say I'm not sending my youth to school and going through the homeschooling, but you still got to register that
Yeah,
process.
and they make that so
And that's all
difficult.
come from the birth certificate.
Yeah.
The birth certificate. From you register your youth,
You're stock.
Yeah.
eh?
You become a stock.
You did that as a parent. It doesn't even say parent; it says witness. You're a witness. You signed over your youth to the state, and then we're going to complain about what the state wants to do with product. Your live product, livestock, your creation. You've signed that over. So now, what grounds do we have to stand on when they're in the school system and all these people are saying they want to do this, they want to do that with the youth that you just signed over?
Damn, man.
So I'm not one to be like, I'm going to send my youth to this establishment and then complain what this establishment's trying to do. Just don't fucking send your youths to the establishment.
Yeah.
It's done.
No, you're right.
It's done. It's mad. We know what the youths, you know what the school's on.
So what do you expect parents to do though if they don't have enough knowledge
we've got-
themselves to?
That's because we rely on the government, bro.
Yeah.
We're tenants in the next man's house. This is where the land comes into.
Said that, innit? The
We're
land.
tenants in the next man's house, and from your tenant in the next man's house, you have to abide by rules of the house. It's as simple as that. And as long as we sit down and we benefit from the electricity, we're not pumping no electricity, no gas. The water's coming through our taps. House is built for us. All of these, it's a simulation we're living in, you know. It's not real. water's coming through taps that you didn't pump. You're going to shop and you're going to find chicken if you eat meat that you didn't kill. What kind of simulation is this?
Yeah, right.
It's not real life. You get me? That's not real life, brother. You get me? So we're living in a state where things are being done for us. Capitalism, convenience. We're selling up our things for convenience, brother. We're letting the next man, you could do this, you could, and get paid for it. And then we're going to work for money to spend things that naturally grows.
And give it right back to them.
That's madness.
It's mad. It's mad.
That's mad. That's mad. It's crazy.
And tomorrow we're going to do it again.
Right.
We're going to say this now,
and
tomorrow.
then complain about it.
And do it
and then
again.
complain about it. So
and then complain, the system.
Yeah, the system.
You
It's not
have
the
to
system.
break it and do it.
You have to be your own system. And then and Malcolm X said, we're scared to bleed. We're afraid to bleed. The price of freedom is death, rude boy. That's what he said.
It's crazy. Like, you're right. We're scared to bleed.
We're scared to bleed. So we could talk about this. Is why, like, on the internet, we complain about these things and ever since this COVID thing, all I've seen day after day after day, I've seen it's like a breaking news, like a step-by-step process of what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, it's happening. This is happening, and then it happens. Oh, this is gonna happen.
Then it happens.
What the fuck are you doing about it? Then
breaking
it's like
it.
every day. You get me? We're just observing
What's gonna
the
happen.
stages as we get closer and closer to this cage. And we're walking on the cage. Oh, yes. Oh, like, it's like we're on some fucking safari, blood. So, look at the water there. And we know we're heading into the cage. And we're like, look. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. That's
Until you're in the cage, and then you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Why
didn't we do something?
Why did we do something? Oh, but we're doing something because we're posting about it.
Yeah.
Virtual. Back in the day, the word virtual meant something. We're virtually there, we're virtually this and virtual. But now we're in this virtual reality where we're not even recognizing that it's virtual. We're just seeing it as reality now. Like, you get me? This is why I advocate coming off the internet to the degree of, like, we have to see the internet as a tool. It's a tool. There's nothing wrong with the internet, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is it's a tool like anything else, like fire.
Yeah, it's a
fire.
tool,
Fire can cook your food or burn down your house. You get me? Back in the day, you just go through. If you want to get on Facebook, you go through the website.
Yeah.
But now, through convenience, we use the apps. And if you want to use the app, then you got to give up certain things. Oh, I want to access your phone. I want to access your mic. I want to access your phone. And then
Who your contacts
you
are, who
give
your
up
messages are.
your freedoms and for the privilege of being able to access their site quickly,
which they control,
conveniently.
What you put on
and
it
then
as well.
when you're interfacing with Facebook, for example, through the app, this is how we access Facebook. How many people access Facebook on their laptop or through the website now? And then you'll see it's two different interfaces.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
it really
so
is.
so when you're on the app, you're only getting within a certain
Minimum,
parameter.
yeah.
But when you go on the website, you got the whole thing.
Yeah.
You get me? So that's how we're accessing the internet.
The internet, yeah.
Through a paradigm.
Hard.
You get me? Like a paradigm, a room within a room within a room.
Yeah.
Not realizing there's a whole fucking
a
country,
whole- yeah.
there's a whole fucking world to explore, but we're just in a room within a room within a room and think we're calling it the internet. Calling it the internet.
In the net.
In the net. Snared. Do you get me? So I'm like, and then you got the dark web.
Yeah.
So we're just accessing the pyramid, but the room within a room within a room within the pyramid. Then you got the whole structure of the thing that we're not accessing. And we think, oh, we're on Instagram through the app, Facebook through the app, Google through the app.
Funneling.
Everything's through the app. And then to access the app, you got to give up all of these rights and privileges and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you get me? That's mad to me, bro.
Yeah.
And don't forget the app is already like built with a certain capacity.
Right.
So,
Right.
so you're definitely not going to see
You're
the whole
not going to
thing.
see the whole thing.
Definitely not.
So we can't be on the internet talking, thinking we're accessing the actual thing. It's not.
No, we're getting like
It's not.
2%.
I don't think the internet is the right way to rally up anything anyway, bro. Like we say, Marcus done it. There were no internet them
Marcus
times.
did it without the internet. Yeah.
So do you feel me?
He did it. But I'm like I'm saying, like, everything's a tool, and everything has its use and its place. You get me? Like, you can use this thing, but like certain conversations, look at it like this: Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Khalid Ma'amin. How did they get taken down? COINTELPRO. Yeah. How did they do it? They were trying to be as secret as possible, you know?
Yeah.
Phone taps.
Yep.
Phone taps. Spies. All these things, right? That's how they accessed and infiltrated the structure. Cool. That's gone 50, 60 years ago. Gone. 100 years ago. Gone. Cool. Now, the same people that infiltrated our ancestors has given us these devices to use. This is a COINTELPRO device.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So what plans do you really believe we're gonna set into intentions on this COINTELPRO device? And they conquered Marcus Garvey, they conquered Malcolm X, you get me, with COINTELPRO, and now here's a COINTELPRO device.
Yeah.
What do you really think
Put
we're
your
going to achieve?
fingerprint onto
it. Fingerprint, face recognition, voice recognition.
Damn. What did they say? Did you see that post? What? Is it Apple or someone? They're gonna be able to screen your photos when you take a picture and it goes in your phone. They automatically screen it for paedophilic images, for children images and stuff.
Yeah, but they do that now, though.
That's technology.
They're telling us they're doing that now. But what I'm saying is, of course, they're gonna blanket it over child pornography or whatever. But they're screening every picture.
There's other uses. You get me? And then if you fit the criteria that they've put into the algorithm to say this person's a terrorist, this person's got
all your scriptures are about pro-black, whatever, or about anti-COVID.
And the maddest thing, like I'm saying, I grew up in that household.
Damn.
That's the household I grew up in. Uncle William saying you can't speak about that, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that.
All your images on your phone, they're gonna write you off, blacklist you.
Listen, there's films.
But they shadow banning people now.
They'll look up your library card. They'll look up everything you're studying and all these things. Okay, so what's this all about? This is before Google. This is before the internet. I'm watching this program.
Pull him up.
You get me?
You seen They Live, innit?
I've seen They Live.
I know you've seen it.
You get me? You see me?
Where's the bus?
You get me? And then they got the hats now. Remember that label? Obey.
Yes.
Obey.
Oh, yeah.
Flood. We're visual learners, innit? And they say pictures speak 1,000 words, or worth more than 1,000 words, innit? Youths will copy what they see more than what they hear.
And what they definitely.
You understand? So when you got all of these visual cues around you, they mean things more than what you could actually express.
And it becomes their life.
You get me? That's why I'm like, this rap thing, you can only say so much. Do you get me? I don't know. If I could draw and I was an artist, the things I'd be drawing would be mad. Do you get me? Like, it would be madder than the lyrics. Do you get me? But it's just an expression of the same thing, really. But I'm like, the internet is a weapon, it's a tool, but you just need to know how to use it. You get me? You go back to the Matrix and thing, them man there, they knew what the Matrix was. They came in, completed the mission, came off, and they was eating slop, rude boy. The real thing.
The real, like.
The amino acids and...
Tanks and that,
You get me? But no, we want to come in and we live in this simulated world like Cypher. Because I know it's not chicken.
But
ignorance is bliss.
And then
the harp is called. You get me? Like, yeah, bro. And that's what we're in. We're in the internet, and we know it's not real. But because we're interacting with people, and we're getting these dopamine shots, and we're feeling good about it, whatever.
Dopamine.
Dope. Yeah. The swipe. This like. You swipe and like.
You post something 10 minutes later. Oh,
the notification bell. My notification's on silent, blood.
Yeah, same.
You get me? But when that notification goes, you get this feeling.
But then you even think, I did post. Let me see if anyone's
still in me, bro. You get me? So it's like these things is real. It's a real science. These people don't just create these apps. They don't just create it. Oh, I'm gonna make. No, they study your brain. They study children. You get me? Why do you think children can pick up an iPad and just operate it?
Within the next 2 days,
they know the thing. Because these computer scientists and these child psychologists, they collaborate and they make these technologies for the children. It's not us. We grew up in a time without internet, bro.
But my mum's like, here, do this for me.
Right.
Pass it over.
If they lock off the internet today, there's a big majority of us that can maneuver. But you see these children. 2000 up.
They can't do it.
They were born into the internet. I've seen people with their profiles, fucking pictures of their scan, belly getting big, baby's born. Boom, straight out the womb. Boom, pictures being posted.
Them on the
that baby's grown up.
7, 8 years old.
They got their own profile.
Yes.
I've seen youths grow from womb to account. You get me? These youths are out here doing mad stuff on the road, taking pictures, post it on the internet, get the dopamine shots, and then they self-manifest it. I think that's why most of this murder and all of these things is going on, because it's dopamine shots.
But it's like you said at the beginning, you got to take care of your own though. At the same time, I know it sounds crazy because I don't let my youths go on the internet unless I give them specific reason to go on the internet for. Like my daughter don't have a phone. I don't care.
Watch me, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's we're in the minority in that aspect. But watch it. Before the internet was the TV.
Yeah, definitely.
And the TV was raising our children.
That was us. You
get me? Mum's in the kitchen, tidying up, cooking, whatever.
Well, she'll put it on to distract you. Like,
right,
you watch that,
right.
she'll go,
Occupy.
she'll go,
And now it's the tablet. Youths are getting tablets to keep quiet. Pacify. You get me?
Yeah.
You understand? So it's the same method, different technology. You get me? Yeah, man. It's a mazza still. So, what was your question? Activism. I wouldn't regard myself as an activist, but the things I say, the things I do, the things I believe in, from the outward perspective, that's activism.
I class that as modern day activism.
Get me?
Man.
You understand?
Sorry, Leon, we gotta wrap it up though, bro.
Go on, my G.
Listen, I was gonna say something though. You was in gang, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
Gang.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, why first of all, and what did that mean to you, and what happened?
So like I was saying, black child promotions. You get me? Like you're saying, that's modern day activism. That's like we was really out there in the field, innit? Like grassroots. Get me? Big up Solomon. Big up Noel. It was out there, going against the grain. You get me? Giving out this information that the government don't want us to give out. You get me? Like we're trying to wake up our people. You get me? Because education is the first step in it. Like you need self-knowledge. You get me? Like in order to love, you gotta respect it. You get me? In order to love yourself, your self-image, you gotta have respect for your self-image. Definitely. You get me? In order to gain that respect, you gotta have some form of knowledge about self. You can't have respect over something you don't understand.
Yeah.
See me? So that's where it comes. Self-knowledge. From self-knowledge, you get respect. From respect, you get your love in it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? In my opinion, that order. You get me? So we was out there on the roads giving out imagery of us in a positive light. You get me? Trying to counteract the poison that's being portrayed in the mainstream. You get me? So because of that, you know, we're warriors, innit? Like that's a warrior thing. We're out there facing adversity from the police, all of these things. So from that aspect, respect in gang, he's like, yeah, boom, like I need you in this gang thing. You get me? Like guiding a new generation. You get me?
Okay,
cool. Yeah, I'm on that. Someone was like, nah, we do this. I'm like, but that's we need to do that. You get me? Because I believed in that. You get me? Going around the communities, that warrior element. You get me? Because I saw it like you got politicians and you got the military, you got soldiers and you got the politicians. You get me? And like I see the conscious community, the Hoteppers and the Ushers, and I see them as like the politicians.
There's no,
you get me?
There's no shadows. There's no shadows.
As the politicians, you get me? And then you got the warrior them. You get me? You got the man them on the road. You get me? Like I relate with them. Obviously, I've got intellect that I can go into that realm there. But I'm like, there's so many factions and so many divisions or whatever. I'm like, everybody wants to be a leader, and my ways. It's like almost like a religion. I don't fuck with that. You get me? So I'm like, the man them on the road. When it comes down to it and shit hits the fan, these politicians that want to sit down on the internet and want to talk their talk, you're not going to be on the battlefield. You're not. I'm not going to see you on the battlefield. You get me? It's the warriors them. The same youths that you're talking down about, saying we're killing each other. When time come, they're the one that's got the heart to lick the shots. When time come and we have to stand up to rebel, they're the ones that's going to rebel. And they're the ones that we need on our side. You get me? And I feel like I come from that cloth there. You get me?
That makes sense.
So when Respect was like, yeah, I was like, course. Done no, yeah, I'm involved. You get me? But I felt like, because I just felt like it was just misdirected. You get me? Like the intentions was there, but then I feel like when you get into a situation and then you get a lot of publicity and you get me, like egos. There was a clash of egos in that situation there. You get me? Like it's like a group of strangers come together for a cause, but then you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know. You get me? So it's a case of like you got powerful personalities. Like what Respect did was, imagine still he cherry picked soldiers, blood.
Yeah.
You get me? But not
But with
everyone
the
is.
soldiers
No,
come-
but not everyone. It's like having a football team. It's like, what was that team? Not Man United. They were Man City, and they had bare superstars.
Yeah.
But they couldn't gel together to.
Yeah, it took
it's,
them more- yeah.
it's the same thing. Get me? Like, so it's like it was a clash of opinions and a clash of egos and all these things. You get me? Like, yeah. So I believed in what gang stood for, but what it developed into, like, I don't know. I kind of dropped out still. You get me? Like, I'm trying to drop, not for any particular reason, but I just felt like I got use, and I believe, like, how can I be outside of my house trying to save the world when I got use?
Yeah, it starts out.
My attention was getting taken away from my house
Yeah.
to the other people's households.
people, yeah.
You can't look after people's yard, and your yard is falling down, blood.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's what made me feel like I need to step back from this thing, you know.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, this is it's the intentions are good, but I can't be trying to lift up your thing and my thing's crashing down. You get me?
Yeah.
I got into mad debates with my partner at the time. You get me? For that purpose.
About what you were
'Cause
doing,
all I was
yeah.
talking about was gang. I was gassed on gang. Like, I'll sit down, because if you look at my thing, I was creating I do the logos thing. I will create the logo for gang. So I'll sit down for time on my computer creating things, but that time investment is coming away from my youths. Them, you get me?
Yeah.
Like, all you think about is gang. All you do is gang. I'm like, yeah, it's the bigger cause. Those the bigger. So you don't want to get that. Nah, your youths is the bigger cause. What are you talking about? Big arguments. You get me? Creating logos for people and. Like, when we went to North London, South London, East London, I was the route master. They dubbed me as the route master. So I'm that guy, innit? I'll go on maps. I love maps, you get me? So I'll navigate. I map the route we're going to go through this estate, that estate. That was me. Get me?
Dope.
For North, East, South and West, you get me?
Full-time commitment, innit, this thing?
Whatever I put myself into, I put myself into it. And then whatever I'm around and what I'm supposed to be doing, it kind of clashes, you see me? So I was like, yeah, for real, I need to take a step back from this thing still and look after
I
my
respect
youths
that
and
still. That's the realest of it all, man. Especially when, like you said, there's inside it's not even ironed out, so it becomes you have to fix that, and then now you're fixing that whole thing before your house.
It becomes ego.
Yeah.
How can you tell the next man how to run his house and your house ain't in order?
Yeah.
Huh? How can I try and take a thorn out of your eye and I've got a fucking tree branch in mine?
Yeah.
How does that even make sense?
Yeah.
I'm gonna blind you trying to take out your thing because I can't even fucking see.
Yeah.
That's a mad thing, you get me? So
They were both blind. Yeah.
I believe we all need to take care of self first. You get me? And then the rest will follow. Do you get me?
I agree with you on that, and then definitely.
Ma.
Damn, this interview just flew, bro. It's like
It's mad, innit?
I can't even express. Like
Mad.
we got so much stuff to talk about, and we didn't even get
I told you it's
through
gonna be me.
half of the things.
I told you
So
it's
like,
gonna be me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we're gonna do?
Part two.
We're definitely gonna We're definitely gonna invite you on a sit down and chat.
Sit down, chat.
Yeah, we've got a couple more people coming in. We could just reason.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, me.
man.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
Like, you made an impact, cuz. Like, I was deep into stories, fam. You know what? Man are going through some racial issues with my youths at school as well. So I was really listening to your story, like. So okay, 'cause I can't put myself in my son's shoes, but you could have, innit? So I was listening from your perspective.
Yeah, it's
You know what I'm
mad.
saying?
It's mad.
I get that.
Like, they just need knowledge of self.
You need knowledge of self, man.
Yeah.
Leon, my bro, we're gonna have to bring you back, man.
Yeah,
you got way too much to say for this little time we're trying to fit you in, fam.
mad,
And that's just
mad.
really what it is.
Come on.
But yo, it's a blessing.
Always. Thanks for having me.
I feel happy that you came down. I took in your story.
Definitely.
I will definitely bring you back on. No capping. You get me? It's dope. But we got something for you. We got a little t-shirt for you still.
Easy now. Powers.
It's over there. Just grab that little grey bag, please. That's yours, yeah? Yeah, that's yours.
Oi.
That's yours, you get me?
Yeah.
Powers, you know.
Powers, yo. That was Leonegus, the realist, you know. Make sure you go follow his page. Leon, you're dropping.
Couple of them still.
Couple of them.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, my G. Love and honor for that still.
Mad.
You know what? Let me say something quickly as well. Obviously, Negus, innit?
Yeah.
RBG Negus.
Yes.
But it's like, man's kind of graduating from Negus still, you get me? Because I'm even though, like, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, innit?
Yeah.
And it's a case of like, when my nan passed and my granddad passed and thing, it was a case of like, how do I want my thing to be dealt with? You see me? You get me? And it's a case of like, it's a spiritual thing. You get me? And if you're not part of a class or school of thought, how is your thing gonna get dealt with?
Anyhow,
I'm not Christian. I'm not Muslim. I'm not any of them things.
Yeah.
So it's all good saying, yeah, I'm spiritual. But what spiritual class do you assign
What
yourself
spirits?
to?
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? So it's a case of like, all religion is the organization of the spirit.
Of a belief, yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? They're all dealing with the spirit, but it's in
Realign,
which order are you following? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm like, yeah, when you say you're spiritual, what does that actually mean?
Fact.
I'm spiritual, yeah, but how do you exercise your spirit? What do you do with it?
Them man
You get what I'm trying to say?
watching memes, bruv. They don't know what they're saying, dog.
So I'm like, rah. That made me feel some type of way because I'm like, how do I want my thing to be dealt with?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, you need a spiritual school to deal with your thing.
Yeah.
You get me? It's just the organization of the spirit. So how is your thing gonna get dealt with? So I was like, rah, like with the Negus thing, like that kind of like, I'm not a Rasta, innit? I'm not a Rasta, and a lot of people will argue the two. Why have you got locks and thing? Like I'm on a warrior thing, innit? The Mau had locks. You get me?
Yeah.
Like when the white man tried to conquer parts of Africa and thing, and they met man in the bushes with
Knocked
that.
up,
Yeah,
yeah.
they weren't really. Yeah, they called it dreadful, innit? They were dreaded. They were shook. They were shook. That's where the term dreadlocks come from. You see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Natural camouflage. You don't want smoke around there. You see me? So like, you know, when the Rastas talk about locks and thing, they didn't get that from Rastafari. They didn't get that from Selassie. Zimmy. And there's even a big debate about Selassie. I don't even want to get into that because that's for the next.
Write that one down.
That's for the next one there.
Debate.
Zimmy.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not Rasta, innit? I'm Garveyite. If it weren't for Garvey, there'd be no Rasta. You get me? If it weren't for Garvey, there'd be no Nation of Islam. Do you get me? If there weren't for Garvey, there'd be no Krami and Nkrumah. You get me? So like the red, black, and green thing. Ghanaian president, first president. My man followed Garvey.
Yeah.
Malcolm X followed. His parents followed Garvey. Do you get me? Like Garvey, yeah. But what I'm saying is, the Negus thing, people naturally, and the locks will naturally assign me to Rastafarianism, and I'm like, okay, cool, but I'm like, they follow the Coptic church, the Christian thing. I don't read the Bible. I'm not involved in none of that. You get me? So I'm like, rah. So if my man does pass, how is my spirit gonna be organized?
Yeah.
Who am I offering my spirit to? You see me? Like, you get me? So these things needs to be discussed. Like, so like, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to find a spiritual pathway. You get me? Like, and I'm like, okay, you know, we met Christianity through slavery.
Yeah.
That's the story.
That's a fact. Man.
So, you know, we met Jesus, good ship Jesus. You get me? Like, so I'm like, okay, cool. It's a slave ship. So I'm like, what did we come from? You get me? Before we was introduced to Christianity and Islam, because they just used Africa as a pawn. You had Islam and Christianity have always had their holy wars. They've always, and Africa being in the middle, having our own spirituality systems, spiritual systems. So like, okay, we're gonna take the East, we're gonna take the West. So the whole, we split Africa in the middle. You got Islam on that side, and you got Christianity on that side, and they just used the bodies within Africa to fight their holy war. You get me? So I'm like, okay. Like we were saying earlier, the whole theme's about tools, innit? To get what I'm trying to say. So you can't say Islam did this and Islam did that and Christianity did that. These were tools being used in a particular way to enslave us in that particular order, you get me? But before all of that, we had our own spiritual systems. So I'm like, in regards to that, I'm entertaining ancient African spiritual systems. I'm investigating. I'm in the process. So I've changed my thing from Negus to Ogun. Do you get me?
Okay.
You see what I'm trying to say? Because like, what's a king to a god?
Jesus.
You see me? Negus is emperor, innit? Like what's an emperor to a god? You get me? So I'm like, I'm gonna put down these westerns.
Yeah, Negus is emperor king. Yeah.
You get me? I'm gonna put down the western thought patterns. Negus. You get me? Negost. You understand? Christianity and all of these things, and then I'm gonna go into the African spiritual system, the Yoruba, and the Orishas, Ogun, Shango. You get me? So I'm kind of entertaining that right now. I'm not gonna profess to say, yeah, I know all of them things there, but I'm educating myself and I'm learning. And I thought my first step would be to change my label. You get me? So RBG Negus is still there.
Close it. Yeah.
RBG Negus is still there. But I've more converted that into like a memorial page for my grandparents.
Okay.
You see me? So I'm not really going to post information on that page anymore. You get me? It's still there, but I'm not going to be posting information like that. I'm on Ogun now. RBG Ogun. That's OGOUN.
Yes.
You get me? For that side there. You get me? But obviously my main page is INXT. That's my intense training page. You get me? That's where, you get me? I'm trying to draw people out to come out in a real life and do the thing, you get me? Get the community fit, because there's no revolution without fitness, bro.
You're right, bro. I would love to come as well. But
Yeah, man.
I need to. I'm speaking to you, innit? But I live far, but I'm in South, fam.
Bro, I'm all entertaining the idea of coming down to Brockwell Park, you get me? That's do a thing in Brockwell Park.
Alright, cool. I'm just gonna wrap this though, Leon.
I
know, man. It's been a good episode though. I enjoyed it.
Insightful, man.
I enjoyed it.
I've got some seeds, man, for my week, man. Definitely got some seeds. Respect for that, man.
Yo, big up the Triller, Leon.
Ogun.
Cheers. The Realist.
Wait.
Man, I say Leonegus.
I wasn't. I wanted him to say. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yo, you know who it is. Myself 100 eyes with the Triller Talent Mafia.
Yeah.
And we're locking off today on Pals for Breakfast, man. I hope you lot enjoyed it. DM me your thoughts. Yada yada yada. I never remember the 4th of September. Official Power Store is gonna be launched. Don't forget that one there. You feel me?
Yeah, that's on the horizon, man.
But people, we're running past time, so I'm gonna let you lot enjoy your Sunday.
Don't know.
Take care, people. Have a good one.